Ladies and gentlemen, Winter Haven Chamber, good morning. It's a pleasure to be here. The first thing I want to do is say good morning to Mayor Dancer, Mayor Pro Tem Birdsong. I saw Commissioner Yates here a few minutes ago. Commissioner Powell is here. I don't know if Commissioner Mercer has arrived yet, but it's truly a pleasure to work with our City Commission and our chamber leaders. The chamber, led by Katie Worthington-Decker, have just been excellent community partners. To be able to say yes when it's right to move forward, to be able to say no, that's not right for our community. And they certainly can provide that insight. They're great partners. Along with Main Street and also the Winter Haven Economic Development Corporation. We started the year in December talking to our team about and I probably used the wrong terminology, but at the end of our program today, you're going to get a bag of chocolate chip cookies, okay? Because we want to make sure that everybody is sweetened up for the year, and that you have a little bit of dessert to go along with your chips and salsa for the coming weekend of the Super Bowl. But it actually kind of came out of a concept of, I believe in, as a coach, I believe in having a strong offense. I think if you have a strong offense, the defense is going to take care of itself. Now, obviously, you can't give up a lot of points, but a strong offense, I think, is the way to win every time. And so I also think that in order to be an effective leader, you got to play with an edge. You got to find an edge in what you do day in and day out to be able to make sure that we provide exceptional customer service, because that is our vision, day in and day out, to provide exceptional customer service, to mean it, to show it, to care about it, and to make you feel as if that you're the only customer that we were addressing at that moment in time. That's exceptional customer service. Doing things right the first time, making things easy for you to work with us, to get to the yes. And so therefore, I said we were going to play with the chip on our shoulder to be able to show every day that we had exceptional customer service. The team said, maybe a chip on the shoulder is not the right terminology. Let's play with an edge. And I said, okay, let's play with an edge. That opening video right there shows you that we started off the year with an edge. We started this in 2017 because the City Commission had a bold vision for our city to really continue to be a sports and ecotourism destination in Polk County and in the region. And so their vision was to build I'm going to say, Michael, an iconic Fieldhouse and Conference Center. And I want you to repeat after me. Iconic Fieldhouse and Conference Center at the Children's Hall. Don't forget Advent Health. Okay. We started off the year on January 4th. What a beautiful facility. And you know what was so impressive about it that day? Everybody had a smile on their face. Everybody was having fun. Did you see the kids shooting those hoops? Listen, I'm from Southern Indiana, and I know form when I see it. And every one of those kids, they got form. They know how to shoot that basketball. We had volleyball going on. We had kickball going on. We had people walking around the exercise track. I'm told it's 6 times around, it's a mile. When Representative Kilgore gets back from Tallahassee, he's going to continue his cardio stuff, and he's going to be doing that. And so that's how he's going to maintain an edge throughout the year. Great facility. That's an iconic facility because our team started out with an edge. We wanted it to be. Our vision was that we were going to do it right the first time. And things ended up costing a little more. We were going to take it back to the City Commission and say, look, you agree with us and we agree with you that we've got to design and build our Fieldhouse and Conference Center. We've got to do it right the first time. So it started out with our Assistant City Manager, Mike Stavres, and myself, delivering that message to the consulting team that we signed a contract with. We started out with a strong trout, and I'll tell you, we picked a winning team because the Jerry Trout has a great deal of experience and wisdom, and Tim Hiep plays with an edge because he is a visionary, and he's one of the best that we've ever seen. And consequently, that was the concept that we ended up with. And all along the way, we kept the City Commission informed. They had input into that vision, and so it was a total team effort. A local vendor. And then we hired Labbe Construction, who has plentiful experience with respect to building excellent facilities all around the county, and for that matter, the state. And then Never Whitehead & Sons, a local independent contractor, joined that team to make a difference, to be able to play with an edge, to bring that local flavor, to make sure that we ended up with, I'm going to say it, an iconic facility, a facility that will be a sports venue that our citizens can use, our kids will enjoy, that teams will come here to play, parents will come here to stay, they will eat in our restaurants, they will stay in our hotels. And because of the beautiful downtown that we have and the residential living around our city, whether it's in the southeast, whether it's in the center of the city, or whether it's downtown, and because of the business climate that our growth management department maintains, a can-do, let's get the yes attitude, they'll come back here and open business because we have a chip on our shoulder about providing exceptional customer service. So today, each member of our leadership team is going to present to you the state of our city. You're going to hear reasons why we're playing with an edge, make sure that we provide exceptional customer service day in and day out. Our leading off is going to be our growth management director, Labbe. And as Labbe is coming up to take the podium, and as I'll do with each of our leaders, I'm going to tell a little story about Eric. Eric didn't leave with you. He can't find the opening either, so I don't feel like Eric, we promoted from within. He replaced Merle Bishop. That's hard to do. I don't think you can't replace Merle Bishop. Merle has got a lot of talent, he's got a lot of knowledge, he's got a lot of judgment, he's got a lot of maturity, he knows how to get the yes. But we liked the can-do approach that Eric brings to the setting. We like his vision. He has worked very well with the City Commission and the Planning Commission. There hasn't been a customer service inquiry yet that we haven't given him that he's been able to solve it and make sure that the right things happen. He's got private sector experience too, so he knows what many of you are looking for when you come in and you're talking to city government about what to do and how to do it. What do I have to do to get through the process legitimately? He guides his team. His team listens, and they get it done. Why is that? Well, because exceptional customer service will give you the edge every time. Because when we don't have that edge, and when we don't provide that exceptional customer service, that client is going to go someplace else. And that's not the kind of business climate we want. And I'm glad to say that's not the kind of business climate we have. I'm extremely proud of Eric, and I'm extremely proud of his entire team. You're going to hear about best practices today. You're going to hear about new technology to be able to provide that exceptional customer service. And he's going to further illustrate just why we have an edge over our competitors. I'm pleased to introduce Eric Labbe, your Growth Management Director.
Good morning, Winter Haven. Good morning. Welcome to the Ritz Theatre in the greatest place in Florida, downtown Winter Haven, as named by the American Planning Association. That probably has less to do with the work that we do in the city and more to do with the work that you guys do out there in the community, all of our community partners and everybody who has invested in the city of Winter Haven. The last 20 years have seen a great revitalization in downtown Winter Haven that we can all be proud of. I had the opportunity yesterday to speak to the Rotary Club, and Commissioner J.P. Powell introduced me and gave a very nice introduction and said that I had some big shoes to fill in Merle Bishop's absence. And I recognize that. If any of you have actually seen Merle Bishop's shoes, I think he wears a size 14. I'm about a 9.5, so I'm trying. I'm going to go a little bit about growth in Winter Haven and what we're experiencing and how we're dealing with growth in Winter Haven. If I can get the slides to advance, perfect. The Milken Institute does an annual study. They have not released the most recent data, but what this slide illustrates is how we are growing and improving as a best performing city. There are 383 what are called metropolitan statistical areas, MSAs, in the state of Florida. In the last 3 years, the Lakeland Winter Haven MSA has advanced from the 114th best performing city to the 47th best performing city. One item that I wanted to point out was our 5-year high-tech GDP growth. We are 24th in the state and growing. And so what I'm going to talk about is how, and this is a little bit of chip, maybe I should try to push the chip off my shoulder a little bit. I'm going to announce today that we're no longer the Lakeland Winter Haven MSA. We're the winner of the Lakeland MSA. I'm not sure if I get a lobby to get that done, but there might be a few people in here that can help make that happen. We're growing, ladies and gentlemen. We are now a community of approximately 45,000 people. Just the last time we did the census, we were at 34,000 people in the city of Winter Haven. We are projected by the year 2030 to be a community of about 60,000 residents. We are growing at about the last 3 years, if I can get the slide to advance, 4% annually for the last 3 years. And why are we the Winter Haven Lakeland MSA now? Winter Haven has grown at approximately 32% in that time frame since the last census in 2010. Lakeland, 10%. They're growing at 1% annually. We're growing at about 4% annually. We're driving growth and economic vitality and diversity in our county. That's about 3 to 3.5 residents moving to Winter Haven every single day, over 100 residents every single month moving to our city. In 2019, we issued 675 single-family residential permits. As you can see, over the last 3 or 4 years, we have a strong residential demand in the city of Winter Haven. I don't see that number reducing in the near term. We are trying to encourage more multifamily development. We've had strong single-family development. What you see there is sort of a small downtick in 2019. I think that has less to do with the economy locally and more to do with the fact that we burned through a heck of a lot of single-family lots that were permitted in 2007, 2008 that didn't get constructed on during the recession. We've now burned through those lots. I can tell you in the first quarter of 2020, we anticipate approving plats for approximately 900 more single-family lots that will enter the market in the city of Winter Haven. So how do we deal with that? Well, we're blessed to have the Winter Haven Regional Airport. This is a key economic driver in our city. The airport is growing, ladies and gentlemen. We've developed and adopted a master plan for future growth at the Winter Haven Regional Airport. We've invested in utility improvements. We're expanding water and sewer and reuse to the airport to encourage private sector development and growth, not just in the aviation field, but in retail and possibly hospitality services out of the airport as well. We want to encourage this private development. We've completed the runway 1129 project, runway improvement out there. We've purchased fuel trucks. The city commission just approved last week the grant for the construction of 10 new T-hangars out at the airport. We have 100% capacity. We're 100% filled in our hangar space at the airport. This will create more inventory and more capacity. We have a waiting list of people who are wanting to get into new hangars. That translates into more based aircraft at the airport, which translates to more opportunity for grant funding from FAA and FDOT, which perpetuates further improvements and further development at the Winter Haven Regional Airport. We are looking at digital FBO software so that we can provide excellent customer service to everybody who visits the Winter Haven Regional Airport. This is software in which our techs can go out onto the field with their iPads. They can check an airplane in, record the tail number. They can make hotel reservations. They can book a car rental for them. They can pay their fees, all before the passengers are able to get their luggage off the airplane. So when they come into the terminal, they're provided with excellent customer service, their hotel room, their car rental, everything. We can track fuel sales down to the tenth of a gallon. This is opportunity where we can collect data and use that data to better serve our citizens and our visitors at the Winter Haven Regional Airport. Our building division, can I tell you how proud I am of Brian Wells in our building department and everybody who works in our building division. They have provided 16,338 inspections in 2019. Can I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that's 3 inspectors in our building division. That is an all-time high as far as I know in the city of Winter Haven for the number of inspections. We have implemented technology to help us. We have mobile real-time inspections. They go out in the field with their iPads. They do their inspection. They send it in. It comes back to the home office. The contractor on record gets a receipt. He knows if he passed or he failed the inspection, what the next step is, what he needs to do. We're trying to be faster, more efficient, more customer-friendly in everything that we do. We're budgeting for drone inspections, where our inspectors can take the classes and certification to be able to operate drones. This is very helpful to do roof inspections and those types of things that are a little more time intensive. You got to get in a ladder, you got to get on a lift, you got to go up and inspect the roof. No longer. We're going to budget for drone inspections. We can send the drone up, we can do the inspection, we can get it done faster, better, cheaper. All of our inspectors, and this is unique in the city of Winter Haven, this is something that doesn't exist in a whole lot of other communities. All our inspectors are certified in multiple disciplines. By the end of 2020, all of our inspectors will be certified to perform any inspection. That's mechanical, that's plumbing, that's electrical, any inspection that we need to do in the city of Winter Haven. Each of our inspectors will be able to do any of them. Again, providing the best customer service we possibly can. Our engineering services division, again, a lean and mean ship. We have some of the best engineering staff that I think exists in the state of Florida. They've been able to develop a quick reference guide that we're now using in all of our pre-app meetings with engineers and our DRC meetings with engineers. It is a quick reference guide for all of the most frequently asked questions. What size pipe do I need? What are the standards for roadway width and base and all the engineering stuff that is above my head. But but they are able to provide that, and the goal is so that engineers can design their plans correctly the first time, reducing the amount of staff time that's required to review plans, submit comments, shortening that approval process so that projects can get out in the market and get developed the first time, every time. But we're starting to track how many resubmittals we have for site plan reviews. Can I tell you, in 2019, we averaged 1.79 reviews per site plan submittal. That is a very good rate, but we can get better. We can be better, we can be faster, we can be more efficient. That is the best rate we've had since we started tracking it in 2015. Our planning division, we're pursuing dashboards and technology, GIS-based development activity map, so that we are better able to respond and predict for our infrastructure and capacity planning needs. The more information we can have available to us and to the community, the better we are able to plan for roads, water, sewer, infrastructure, all of the needs that our citizens and guests expect in the city of Winter Haven. We're developing one-stop shop, we're looking at one-stop shop software so that all of our departments, the building division, engineering division, planning division, are all integrated in one software system so that you can submit an application to any department. That information gets disseminated throughout the department. We can provide our comments better, faster, more efficient, and provide the best service we possibly can. We will be focusing in the coming years on infrastructure and capacity development. That's part of growth. We all are enjoying the fruits of the increasing economic activity and development that's happening in the city of Winter Haven. We need to make sure that we're able to plan for the needs of our future residents and guests in the city of Winter Haven. I wanted to give you a quick example of sort of the economic development process. This is a very simple example, but it was very, very, very effective. In 2015, as Legoland was building out, as we were seeing increased growth and development pressure in the city of Winter Haven, there was sort of this intuitive need for hotel space that was identified by the Winter Haven EDC, the city, the chamber, developers. Everybody said we need more space. And so the EDC worked with the county and the city, and the county actually funded a study, a market study. Didn't cost a whole lot of money, got that market study completed. Since then, in the last 4 years, there have been more than 550 hotel rooms developed within the city of Winter Haven. Those 550 hotel rooms provide bed tax and increased funding for the Polk County Sports, Tourism, and Marketing Department, which directly impacted funding and the need for the, let's say it, iconic Advent Fieldhouse and Conference Center at the Chamber Lakes Field. A small investment on the front end, identified by our community partners, culminated in funding for our iconic Fieldhouse. With that, I would like to announce that we are going to change our mantra a little bit in our department. We're no longer going to be the growth management department, if I can get the slide again to advance. We're going to change the way we think. We're going to be the Department of Economic Opportunity and Community Investment. Growth management is a little bit of a regulator, big brother kind of, we're going to slow you down mantra. That's not what we're about. Every project that we build at the Winter Haven Regional Airport, every permit that we review in the building division, every site plan that our engineering services department sees, every zoning change or land use request or variance that we process through our planning division, we are now going to look at it through the eyes of how is this an investment in our community, how is this going to improve Winter Haven, and how is this going to create economic opportunity for all of our residents, our businesses, and our guests in the city of Winter Haven. And out on the street today, if you know anybody who has redevelopment experience, experience, economic development experiences, and is interested in running 2 CRA districts and a brand new neighborhood program. It's out on the street. Tell them to go apply, send in their application and their resume. We'd love to see it. With that, thank you for your time, and I'd like to introduce Assistant City Manager T. Michael Stavres.
I'm not Michael Stavres, and I will not be entertaining. I think you can see why we're playing with an edge this year because of what we're doing in our Department of Economic Opportunity and Community Investment with all the best practices and looking for ways to get to yes. Because if we look for ways to get to yes, then more businesses can open downtown, businesses downtown can expand. New businesses will want to come here, and that's going to make the job of our CEO of the Winter Haven Economic Development Corporation and his board a happy camp. Okay, it's my pleasure today to introduce our Assistant City Manager, Michael Stavres. He's going to be giving you an update on some city investments and some projects that we're going to be rolling out this year that we think are going to give us an edge, again, with respect to creating a really festive environment downtown and giving people a reason to come downtown and giving people a reason to want to open a business. So let's hear what he has to say. But before that, I want to say that the reason that the Fieldhouse and Conference Center project was such a success is because it takes somebody to demonstrate passion. It takes somebody and our offices are right next to each other, so I can hear the daily phone calls. I can hear the pinches for details. I can hear Michael say, when things weren't going right, here's what he expected. And so, he played with an edge, day in and day out, until that project was finished. And that's why it was a success. The city manager, from here on out, we're going to have an award every year where we're going to recognize the project leader of the year. The project leader of the year is somebody who has demonstrated excellence day in and day out with respect to the project they managed. The objectives were accomplished, the details were accomplished, the budget was executed with minimal change orders. And at the end of the day, you come back with a project that your community is very proud of. And so, Michael Stavres received the City Manager's Project of the Year Award, and we have something very special that we're going to give him, and that's going to be at a future date that I think that he'll remember for the rest of his career. So it's my pleasure to introduce, I think, the best city manager, certainly in Polk County, and really the best assistant city manager in Central Florida. And every team needs, in order to have an edge, every team needs to have somebody who puts the details together and executes. Michael Stavres, ladies and gentlemen. They gave me a new car. I think it's what it's going to be. It's a high-end Tesla, and you'll see me cruising around town in it, right? Is that right? That's not? Okay, all right. So, I got to make sure I know how to work this thing. So we're going to talk a little bit about capital investments, and we've done a lot in the past several years that you guys see each and every day. You've seen Trailhead Park, you've seen the tennis courts, you've seen the new dock in Lake Howard, the Advent Health Fieldhouse and Conference Center, Lake Lawn Park, big things that stand out and really resonate all by themselves. But there's also other projects we have underway that are going to be kicking off this year that are much smaller in scale, in comparison anyways, but are just as impactful in their own right. So one of the first things I want to talk about, if I can make it work, am I hitting the right button? There we go. So downtown, one of the things that we want to do, there we go, is how do we capture more opportunities for the public to enjoy our public realm while enjoying our restaurants, our evening activities, our retail establishments downtown. So one of the things that we've been exploring for a while, we're going to be
kicking off this year is how do we incorporate more sidewalk cafe space in downtown. That's a little tricky to do when you've got a 2-lane road running through the middle of downtown and you have parallel parking on both sides of it. So one of the things we've been exploring is how do you take that curve that exists today, perhaps right out here in front of the Ritz Theatre, and extend that out to the travel lane and create opportunities to do things like this. This is what we want to see happen in parts of downtown, recognizing that we've got to also deal with how do we mitigate the parking impacts, but really, what does this do for our downtown? It makes it a more enjoyable, more activated space for all our residents to come down. It helps our businesses, it helps our economy, and this is the place that you want to live. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
The other project that we have going on is, and we're working with Pinoni on the design and engineering aspects of this one. This is the Chamber of Commerce, is that red roof building you see right there. I'm going to turn this microphone just a little bit so I don't lose you each time. And we've got, again, some remnant space all around the Chamber of Commerce that we've needed to do some work on for a while. And after we finish the South Central Park project, we recognize the value and the impact that parking piazzas can have in downtown. We also know that we've done a lot of streetscape in the area, but one of the areas we haven't tackled is this northern end of downtown. And then we also have a green space remnant park in the form of Joyce B. Davis Park that is grossly underutilized for the opportunities that it has. So some of the things that we're going to be looking to do here is how do we take that sidewalk redevelopment effort that we've done over the past few years and apply that to the area around Old Town Square, Carlton Music Center, all the way down down 4th Street towards Avenue B. So I see my dear friend Glenn Carlton sitting up there. Glenn, it is actually going to happen. We are going to make that as beautiful as the rest of downtown. And that becomes another anchor point for downtown Winter Haven. Dog park. So we've got a lot of folks that are moving into downtown. We're not looking to create, this massive dog park environment, but I don't know if you guys have noticed or not, but there's a lot of dogs walking around downtown. There's really no place for our residents to take them, to give them a little bit of an experience. When you're living in a downtown apartment, you're not carrying around a giant German Shepherd or a Great Dane. Typically, you've got smaller dogs. We want to create an urban downtown dog experience for them as well. So one of the things that we're going to be doing is looking to the Joyce B. Davis area and redeveloping that, not just as a dog park. It's going to still have pedestrian access and green space within it, but it will have a sectioned off area. And if you're in the downtown as a resident, you've got a place that you can walk your dog through downtown and have a little bit of enjoyment with them. And then the final thing is our market space. So we've got more and more markets that want to pop up within our downtown parks and other spaces. And one of the things that we feel would really benefit the community is to create an opportunity, create a venue where you can do that on a regular, reoccurring, every Saturday opportunity, much like what we're seeing happen now. So we're going to take the area right next to Chamber of Commerce, the 4th Street parking lot, and create this into a parking piazza, much like South Central Park just beside Arabella's. That brick pavered area, curb to curb flow, Monday through Friday. That's the parking that it is today. And then on the weekends, that can be activated as a market space. One of the great things about doing this is it takes away the impact that all of the markets have at present time on other events that we have within our downtown park system. This is a dedicated space that we can actually do markets in, and it doesn't impact anything else we have going on. So look for that to happen this year. The other improvements that we're doing, we're under an evaluation study right now with the Recreation and Cultural Center to go in there and evaluate that facility, see what we need to do to it architecturally and functionally, and begin that investment that the City Commission is committed to bring that facility also up to speed and up to modern standards as we have done with some of our other ones more recently. And then South Lake Silver Park, MLK Junior Park, we should be getting, I believe, our guaranteed maximum price for our skate park. Here in just a couple of weeks, we'll be taking that to the City Commission. That is the entire west side of Lake Silver. That will be constructed, Whitehead & Son, along with Pinoni, or our engineers and architects on that. Team Payne, one of the most renowned skate park designers and constructors in the world, is working right here in Winter Haven on that project. If you've been by MLK Park, anybody that hasn't been by, drive real slow and you'll see that something's missing. We called it the amphitheater. That came down about maybe a month and a half ago, and we'll be putting up a new structure over that stage, and be some awesome stuff. The other thing I want to point out is that we are in the midst of moving forward on the south part of that park project right now. I want to thank Representative Kilbrew. We are the third ranked project on the state priority list for funding through the FERDAP grant program. We found out just this week. Of all the projects submitted in the state of Florida, the South Lake Silver project to improve that shoreline for ADA access, to improve it for our ski shows and the other activities there, ranked number 3 in the state. So long as we can keep some money in the state budget, when they do their approvals in June, July, that project will get $200,000 of state funding to accompany the approximate $1 million that we're putting into it. So pretty exciting there. The other thing that we have going on right now, MLK Boulevard, we just did a kickoff meeting last night with residents out in the Lawrenceville community. That project's going to go under construction, MJ, I believe, in about a week or two, early February. This is going to be a complete reconstruction of that roadway to make it so much better than it is today. We've got to get in and deal with some of the failing base material on that road. We've tried to minimize the impact, and I'll just put the message out to you guys here that most of our major work on that road is going to happen on Sundays, and on the Monday that is President's Day, when school is not in session. That is customer service from your Public Works Department, trying to do projects when they are least impactful to the people that live along that road and the people that travel that road. We also have over $1 million worth of road resurfacing that we'll be tackling here, getting underway probably in the next, I'm going to say 90 days. We'll be assigning some of that work out, some of our major roadways in the area getting road resurfacing. Complete street projects. We finished up the 7th Street project this past year, and a lot of you were there for that dedication, that ribbon cutting. We did it the same day as the Lake Howard dock. We have 3 other complete street projects that are in various stages. The South Lake Silver project, again, lines up beautifully with what we're doing there at the park. That project is going to get under construction in probably just a couple of months. This spring we'll get that underway. It'll be about a year-long project. You may go by there and see some of the utility work happening now. But that goes from basically 5th Street over near Wendy's all the way up to the hospital. That whole road is going to get redone, redesigned in a much better environment. The other project that's very near to construction is Avenue C, which is right down here by the Grove Roots Brew Company, from 1st Street to 5th Street, and it also incorporates 2nd Street going from Avenue C all the way down to City Center, to the backside of Macy's and those businesses there. That project will probably be in construction early summer this year. So we are excited about that and get underway. And then Avenue K, which goes from South Lake, or goes from Lake Silver on 1st Street all the way up to the college. It's your pathway to the college from downtown. That is another complete street project that we'll be getting into design here with Kinley Horn here in the next probably, I'm going to say 90 days, we'll have the design kickoffs for that. We've got 2 big projects happening with DOT that are going to impact Winter Haven significantly. One is the US 17 corridor study, the other is the Cypress Gardens Boulevard corridor study. Those involve looking at those corridors and how do we make improvements, not just from our side, but also the developer side, to make them more functional. The Cypress Gardens Boulevard one goes from Overlook Drive out to the Winterset condominiums, and that focuses predominantly on pedestrian improvements to make that a safer environment for the interaction of our vehicles and our pedestrians there. The 17 one goes from basically Chain of Lakes Park all the way up to Motor Pool Road north of Havendale Boulevard, and that is how do we look at the land uses and the access points and the development patterns along there to make it right for the type of development that we want to see in there, as well as accommodating for the traffic flow and the pedestrian movement as well. And then the last thing I'll mention to you is the Fire Station 3. We are, again, this is another long time in the making project. This is at the corner of Thompson Nursery Road and Lake Ruby Drive out behind the Dollar General there. We are going to be getting our guaranteed maximum price for construction of this facility, again, probably within the next 30 to 45 days. Get construction of that underway this spring. It'll take about a year to build. This is the replacement of the existing mobile home fire station that we have out on Cypress Gardens Boulevard. We're relocating all those staff, all that apparatus and equipment to this brand new state-of-the-art facility that will also have housing for some of our code enforcement operations, as well as our law enforcement. Even our building inspectors can work out of this building. So this is, we just did a kickoff meeting or an update meeting with the
neighborhood a week ago, and we are very excited to see this one come to fruition. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Mike, and he's going to introduce our utilities team. Thank you.
Those projects, I think show you that we're going to continue to maintain an edge over our competition because we're creating an environment where people are going to want to live, work, and play. I think that's just great news for our city today. Next, we're going to have a presentation about, you've got to have an excellent utility system, and you got to have a high-performing utility system, and you got to have an excellent team in your utilities department to be able to make sure that the right things get done, and everything is done in a timely fashion, and that it's done so with courtesy, and we're efficient, and we do things right the first time. And that's got to be part of our culture day in and day out to be able to maintain that edge. And if we have a utility system that is safe and reliable, and businesses will want to be here, they're going to want to open here. And so that team is led by Gary Hubbard, and Mike Herr is our assistant director. Gary Hubbard is our utilities director. Gary comes to us when we were recruiting to fill the position that had been vacated by David Mahan, who went back to the city of Lakeland, where I learned yesterday, I'm proud to say, that he is the assistant director of utilities for the city of Lakeland, where he previously worked. So that's a real achievement for him. Gary comes to us from both the private sector and the public sector. He owns his own engineering firm in South Carolina, and then he worked for Charlotte County as their utilities director. Every team, when we were recruiting, we were looking, Michael and myself were looking for somebody who could stand at the podium in addition to ourselves, that could speak with experience and earn the trust of the city commission as well as our customers. Because of their credibility, because of their experience, and because of their knowledge. And I think Gary fits that bill. And so he's going to talk to you today about a concept that we're developing in our city known as One Water. And Mike Herr, the other reason that we have an edge is because when we went to Tallahassee this week, and if you don't think we need toll roads, drive I-75 and drive I-10. There is no good way to get to Tallahassee, trust me, or go US 27. So that's something to think about. However, the reason we have an edge is we've been wanting to create a forum whereby we could bring Noah Valenstein to our city. He is the DEP secretary. The DEP, Department of Environmental Protection of the State of Florida, will eventually say grace over the Amendment 1 monies, which is going to be monies available for water quality, water supply, and land acquisition to help you develop your ecosystem. Without necessarily asking Mike hit a home run in presenting the main bullet points of One Water, and why nature parks are very important to us, why trails are going to be important to our city in the future, to complement a Harmony project that I know many of you heard about. And it will be this vision will be a game changer. So I really want you to pay attention to it and give us some feedback in terms of what you think about it when you see us. So I'm going to introduce Gary Hubbard. He's also going to talk about some changes that we want to make in our utility billing office. I get more requests for service involving the utility billing office than I do any other office or department in the city. And so we have our utilities do an evaluation of our current practices and compare us to other cities and to sort of tell us really what's dysfunctional that we're not been able to put a handle on. And so we've identified 5 or 6 major areas that need policy changes, which we'll be advancing to the city commission, asking for their approval. And once we get their approval, we'll be able to implement some new practices that will be far more customer service oriented, and it's going to take the dysfunction away from what we have to do because of the rules that we're trying to follow. It's my pleasure to introduce our leader in utilities, Gary Hubbard, who will introduce Mike Herr as well, our assistant director. Gary.
everyone. It's good to be here in Winter Haven. I'm the new guy on the block. I've been here not quite 2 years yet, so still learning everybody, and I hope to get to meet everybody at some point. Spending some time with you to talk about One Water, and I'll explain why we got all this water right here on this page also. But before we actually begin, there's been a long discussion in Winter Haven about One Water, and there's been a champion of that effort, and that's Mike Herr. So Mike, if you can come out, he's going to give us some of the history, and then we'll talk further about the actual One Water program that we're going to be moving forward with.
Good morning. So as Gary mentioned, a lot of people will know that this has been an ongoing conversation in Winter Haven for closing on 30 years now. In 1990, Winter Haven created the Lakes Management Natural Resource Program, and that first decade was kind of learning about our lakes and getting more information and applying for some grants. In 2000, something really spectacular happened. I'm sure a lot of y'all were around when the Chamber of Commerce did Vision by Design, and this was an incredibly impactful process in Winter Haven. Well, I would say that it's probably been one of the most impactful things for downtown and how we think about downtown, but it also changed the way we think about lakes and water and all that it means to the community. One of the statements of this process was water benefits all aspects of our economy, culture, and environment. So this basically changed the thinking about Winter Haven. It changed my perspective for sure, and really led to where we're at today. In 2010, the City Commission adopted the Sustainable Water Resource Management Plan, and this basically said, okay, we're going to formally adopt a strategy for making sure that lakes are viable in Winter Haven forever, and we're going to have to change the way we kind of think and operate with lakes. So that brings us to today. Today, well, in the meantime, we've had economic downturn, there's been a focus on economic development, there's been a lot of things that have happened, but so today we have what's called the One Water Master Plan, and this was a Gary's brainchild. It basically was time for us to look at water, sewer, and wastewater and reuse master planning, but also we brought in the concept from the Sustainable Water Plan, including things like lakes, especially flooding, water quality, stormwater, nature parks and trails and waterfront access and waterfront development. So you think about Winter Haven, it says 5,000 acres of water, with lakes. That means a lot to the city, along with the nature parks, things like that. So One Water is a concept that's known probably more nationally than it is in Florida or locally, but it really is that concept of taking all of the components that water provides in our community, things like healthy lakes and community development, the economic growth, and then also thinking about it in a partnership kind of mode. With all the water benefits provides in the community, it brings people together in a different way to manage that system. So I'll let Gary talk a little bit more about kind of the One Water Master Plan and all it's going to do.
Thank you, Mike, for the history. As Mike was saying, there's a lot of portions to the actual One Water Master Plan. I'm not going to go through each one of these, but I am going to highlight some that I think that are really important. As you know, we are dealing with finite water resource. The times are such that we're not going to be able to get further permits from SWIFT for additional groundwater supplies from the upper Florida and aquifer. That's where our water comes from now. And so we have to consider what are our alternatives. See if we can get this to highlight. There it goes. So our alternatives right now, we're a member of the Bulk Water Regional Water Cooperative, and we'll be evaluating alternative water sources to provide water to not only Winter Haven, but all of Polk County. That water will come with a price to it, and it will be expensive. So part of One Water is can we offset some of that water with the waters that we already have available to our area? That deals with water conservation. When we look at water supply, we have to examine what water we currently are using versus what water we're going to need in the future for our growth. Currently, we provide about 10 million gallons per day to the residents of Winter Haven and our surrounding area. Now, about 40% of that water is used for irrigation. So that's a lot of water. If we can save some of that water, that'll mean less water we'll have to get from an alternative water source. So now about this water. If you look at the current population that we're serving, the average amount of gallons used per person per day in our service area is 115 gallons per day. Okay? This is 115 gallons. I went to Sam's yesterday, and I looked at these 22 in my truck. Let me tell you, it was a chore. $65 later, I'm on my way back to Winter Haven. But do you know how much that costs for us to provide to our customers every day? Anybody want to take a guess? Less than 39 cents for $65 worth of water, it seems. This is what we're trying to do. We have to look at the value of water. Every drop is meaningful. Around the area, many wetlands have been drained in the past for development. We need to look at storing water, restoring these wetlands. If we can restore the wetlands, we can store water, then we can use that water for possibly groundwater recharge. See if this will cooperate. It provides recreation nature parks that Mike was talking about. Around each one of these wetlands, we could have trails, boardwalks, so on and so forth. Also, restoring wetlands will help maintain the lake levels for us. It will help with flood prevention. So when we have these severe storms throughout the summers, hurricanes and such, we can help with flood protection. It helps with aquifer recharge. Again, if we can store water, recharge the aquifer, we're limiting the amount of water that we'll need to purchase from other sources. Land use planning, big portion of how we project our demands and what happens in the future. We have to consider, do we want to develop as we have in the past? Do we need to change that? These are all things that have to be considered when we consider how we're going to provide water in the future. And of course, it all has to make economic sense. So we look at all the economic benefits from this one water process. Healthier lifestyles. It's all about the quality of life, Winter Haven style. So the plan itself, Mike mentioned 5,000 acres of lakes. We identified 30 locations around the city that might be possible locations for storing water. This would basically double the amount of water around Winter Haven. As you can see from this map, this is our vision of what one water might look like. You see the heavy green lines? Those represent the trail system around the city. There would be connections to the statewide trail system. This would put 30 miles of trails surrounding the city. Now, how cool would that be? Mr. Herr talked about ecotourism. This is ecotourism with an edge. So this is what the concept is, the vision. We're working on a communication plan. And like Eric and his team, Winter Haven Utilities is going to be changing also. We are not going to be Winter Haven water. But to accomplish this, we have to have everybody's help, stakeholders. Everyone in this room is a stakeholder, and we're going to need you to be a champion like Mike Herr. With that, Mr. Herr, would you like to introduce our customer service manager?
Yeah, you're right up there, what you got to
I
ask.
want to add one quick thing, just with that map in Winter Haven, with all the lakes and our focus on waterfront, I think we're one of the only communities in the whole state of Florida that could make something like this happen with trails and development, waterfront, things like that. I think it's going to be one of the things that really, drives a kind of community for 100 years or so.
Thank you, Mike. So as Mr. Herr was talking earlier, our mission is to provide exceptional customer service. And that's probably one of the hardest jobs in the city. We're very fortunate, and I'm pleased to introduce WISHAM. She comes to us from the city of Lakeland, where she has years of experience. And we're going to be looking at how we improve, strengthen, and enhance the lives of our customers. And Amanda's going to help us do that.
Thank you, Gary. Good morning.
Good morning.
Go back. The City of Winter Haven's mission focuses on enriching lifestyle through exceptional service, and the Customer Service Department has a big role in that commitment. When I think about what exceptional customer service means, I think about Publix and Disney World. It takes a lot to surpass the expectations of our citizens. It takes those who listen and those who care. The Customer Care Center often has the first interaction with residents. It's where they formulate their opinion in the community. Therefore, it is our opportunity and our job to make a good first impression. Last year, as Mr. Herr mentioned, the city participated in a customer service assessment. The results showed the areas that needed the most attention and provided key recommendations. Some of the areas we needed to focus on are the organizational structure, policies and ordinances, and technology. There is a need to focus on putting employees in positions based on their strengths and then providing training to build on those strengths. We will work on modifying existing policies, procedures, and ordinances, focusing on those involving the customer experience as they relate to their bill, payment options, adjustments, deposits, fees, etc. We have already made steps towards upgrading our customer information and billing system, which will allow us to provide more options when assisting our customers. We are also going to provide a better online experience. We have our customer portal coming soon and a mobile app soon after that. We are also looking into options for payment kiosks, which will allow us the customers to make payments by cash, credit card, checks, and check their account balances. This is just a screenshot of what the portal will look like. The portal will increase customer engagement. It will allow customers to sign up for alerts, such as bill, due dates, and past due notifications. And it will also allow them to monitor their usage and provide information on tips and conservation. So what does the future look like? This year we will focus on what is working and work towards improving the areas that aren't. By becoming better communicators, listening to and engaging with our customers and the community, we will show we are committed to help build the community of the future. Thank you, and I look forward to being a part of these changes and helping improve the customer experience for our citizens.
clicker, that's dangerous. Okay, one of the things that we like about Amanda, when we interviewed her, first of all, she has a lot of experience working in the Lakeland Electric Department. She worked on the revenue side. And so she had a span of control where she had a number of people reporting to her, but it was her maturity and her experience in working in a larger organization and her familiarity with technology, because we think technology is really going to drive a lot of the best practices that will improve customer service in our utility and customer service office. The other thing that I think she brings to the organization with her experience, she's really got a good knack for process mapping, and that's a tool for problem solving and looking for bottlenecks in the process. And so that's going to help us as well. And I think there's two things in her message that really resonated with me as a leader. One, we got to get the right people in the right positions. Number two, you can't just say you want customer service and then put people out there and say, okay, go do it. We've got to constantly reinforce a practice that we see that's exceptional. We've got to give people encouragement. We've got to reward them. We've got them to feel good about what they do. Because when people are contacting the billing office, they're generally, not real happy. And so we've got to make sure that our folks have the tools to know how to address those challenges. And we're going to be successful because I think we started out with the right person in the right position with respect to Amanda. So, having said that, it's my pleasure to introduce Nguyen. The technology gives an organization an edge, whether you're in the private sector or whether you're in the public sector. Hiep's leadership and his entire team, along with the fact that we have many leaders, as you've been able to see throughout the presentations, you see a common thread. Leaders in this organization are willing to embrace change, they're willing to create change, they're willing to use best practices to accomplish those changes. And so that begins because we have a leader who is one of the smartest smart city officers that I've ever had the opportunity to work with throughout my career. And plus, his ability to speak in a convincing way and get you to understand what it is that he's talking about, he's very good at that. And so that's very important. People need to understand what kind of best practice it is that we're engaging, what's the return on investment. But you're going to see something kind of unique here. What's going to give us an edge in this next story are our big values. I'm going to introduce Nguyen.
Good morning. I'm Hiep, Nguyen, and I serve as the Smart City Officer for the City of Haven. That's right, I'm hip and smart. All right, I have two sons, Matthew and Timmy. Matthew's 13, Timmy's 10, and I am amazed at what they're able to do. Last year, they taught themselves how to solve Rubik's Cube by watching YouTube videos. Now, what's not amazing is that they can solve a Rubik's Cube. I mean, almost anybody can do that, right? What's amazing to me is that they can solve it 10 to 20 times faster than I can. And that relates to me, Dad, you're using old methods and your algorithms are too basic. So if you want to go faster, you got to learn these new methods and expand your algorithms. Right? And if you're able to use mnemonic cues and do visual storytelling to help your memory, you can do it blindfold. So my son this past year taught himself how to solve a Rubik's Cube blindfolded. So this is going on in the internet, of course. Solving a 2x2, and he's able to do a 3x3, which is exponentially much harder, in under 7 minutes. So the whole point of what I'm saying is that technology forces us to rethink, retool, and reimagine how we do things, the traditional things that we usually are used to or grow up with. So there's they didn't learn it from school, they didn't learn it from their moms, they definitely didn't learn it from me. And so now it's just saying, we're
we're basically in the same depth, or the same experience in terms of dealing with cities. I love this quote. Hyman Israel is a futurist who works for Merrill Lynch, Bank of America, basically the director of thematic research, says that we believe the world will transform at the fastest pace in human history in the next 5 years. So what we're seeing as cities is we're dealing with these megatrends. So we identify 3 megatrends: innovation, people, and earth. So when we talk about, in terms of innovation, we talk about Internet of Things, smart interconnected devices, artificial intelligence, big data, as such. When we're talking about people, we're talking about the silver economy, we're talking about Generation X, Generation Z, baby boomers, we're talking about inequality. When we're talking about Earth, we're talking about the water supply, sewer, dealing with climate change. So these are the 3 megatrends that they've identified for the next 5 years. He says it's no longer a long-term trend. Long-terms are now so much faster due to what's called acceleration. What that means is technology has accelerated these trends. It took us 64 years for 50 million people to adopt the car. It took 62 years for 50 million people to adopt the airplane. It took 19 days for people to use Pokemon Go. So the speed and change is what we're dealing with. And so, again, the feeling is that in cities, we have to constantly rethink, retool, reimagine how we do things. And you've seen that throughout this presentation by the presenters and the presentees. So, smart cities are transformative. But to me, the way I see smart cities is through a child's eye. Smart cities are aspirational. It has an opportunity for us to kind of adopt and embrace new ideas, new things that will allow us to do things that we haven't imagined. So very similar. So I use my kids as a great example in terms of how do I see things in their eyes and things that I haven't even imagined. Smart cities connect people. So technologies are simply tools that shorten distances between us. Smart cities help us connect people, their ideas, aspirations, and our dreams. And it's very important that smart cities build trust. A lot of missteps in other smart cities is that even though technology might make things go faster, we got to make sure that we balance that speed of technology with the trust that we hold dear in the community. So when we implement technology, we want to make sure we embrace that trust that we need to form, and the innovation will emerge out of that trust. We just recently formed a Smart City Advisory Committee of community members, and that's one of the first steps, is how do we go in and engage the community and make sure we have a voice, is make sure that we're doing the right things. And very important is that smart cities embrace everybody. So we need to leverage our partnerships, we need to leverage every asset, everybody in our community to be able to be effective. So a lot of times, it's not just an office or a person. We need to figure out ways to connect and engage everyone, and leverage talents and capabilities in our community as best as we can. And I love this proverb, and it's really true. We want to go far in what we endeavor to do. And it's the only way moving forward. So, what I want to do is just highlight a few projects, as I mentioned, that are aspirational, that are transformational, that connect us, that include as much as we can, and we're going to talk about big bellies. Right, so get my belly. So big bellies are smart trash cans. These are trash cans that will automatically notify you on demand if they're full. They'll compact as well, so they'll store 5 times as much capacity. They'll automatically notify our staff should they be full. But the nice thing about that is they're double wides. What that means is, traditionally, it's one can is for trash, and the other is for recycling. But what we're going to do with the second side is keep it empty. What that will do is allow us to put in Wi-Fi equipment that will provide bigoted access to our community. So we're going to leverage the fiber that we have to be able to go and provide smart Wi-Fi. These are not going to be initially deployed in our Point Villa area. but it also provides a platform for any future use. Since it's an empty cabinet, we could use that and partner with our higher education institutions to be able to deploy smart devices and serve as a platform for smart use. This is a general layout, typically, of what we're looking to deploy. This is actually as part of the Fieldhouse plan in terms of saying, hey, in our community, we want Wi-Fi in our community. And so this is simply us addressing that need, but also helping us in terms of operational efficiency. So the benefits are clear environment for us. It helps us operation, reducing our operation cost by up to 8%. And allows us to provide Wi-Fi to an area that really needs it, and serving as a platform for future Wi-Fi. We're already engaging with companies that might be interested in actually leveraging that and utilizing that platform to deploy smart and to deploy and test out smart technology. The other project that I want to talk about is our dark fiber efforts. So this is a map of fiber in the county. Key things that we want to do is we want to connect our anchor institutions together. So we identify gaps that we desperately need to be able to kind of fill in those connections. So dark fiber is unused fiber. Typically, we lay fiber as part of recreation projects, trail projects, utility projects, and the departments have been great partners in terms of allowing us to expand that. We've been at it for over 17 years, and we're hitting about 60 miles of fiber. As you know, we have fiber north of I-4, so we extend in 10 miles outside our city boundaries in areas that we envision to have economic growth, including the CSX intermodal area, as well as our investments at the airport. We have currently generating about $350,000 per year from the dark fiber orders. We use a lot of revenue to pay that debt service as we expand our fiber network. And let me just explain to you exactly what dark fiber allows. So dark fiber is a little different than your typical normal connection. This provides a tremendous amount of resiliency, reliability, bandwidth, as well as helping to reduce costs. Now everyone's familiar with speed limit being 55 miles per hour. Imagine if I say, hey, I can connect and make that so that your speed limit now 10,000 miles per hour. What can you do? That's the equivalent of what the dark fiber provides. And actually, this sign is wrong. It should be a speed limit. It's actually the speed minimum, because you could go up to 100,000 miles per hour fairly easy. That's the transformational qualities of this dark fiber. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to increase our dark fiber by leveraging a practice that we utilize called Think Once. And we're looking to continue to expand connecting additional anchor institutions, including our new fire station that we envision, the airport that we're making investments in. And with that, I want to introduce to you Nguyen. She's going to introduce our digital communications plans, simply another way for us to connect to our community.
Oh my gosh, do we have a story or what? I'll tell you, there is so much to talk about, so much to celebrate, and so much information that you as our citizens want to know. And as a result, we've decided to enter into an agreement with our own CMP to develop a digital communication plan. In doing this, we feel we can communicate better, quicker, faster, and more effectively with our customers on all that is happening in Winter Haven. And when all is said and done, we will know who our customers are and the different sectors of our customers. We will better understand various target markets. We will know what platforms to use to communicate and how to message our information so it goes out appropriately to all our target markets. And all of this will be placed in a wonderful guide that will be helpful for all departments. It'll be a step-by-step guide to better communicate with our residents and with our customers and with our visitors on everything that Winter Haven has to offer. So look forward to that. It is our communication edge, and we look forward to communicating with you. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next leader I'm going to introduce is Charlie Burke. He's our Public Safety Director and our Chief of Police. In order to maintain a competitive edge, you've got to have a leader in charge of public safety that understands how a law enforcement and fire protection and prevention system is really integrated and it's not siloed. And so that's why we decided to create a public safety model, because we felt that code enforcement, fire, and police were services that were all related to each other. Because in neighborhoods where you have a high incidence of code enforcement issues, where you have a lot of dilapidated structures, where you have fire hazards, where you have abandoned vehicles, where you have overrun lots, where you have some decay and lack of caring, you're generally going to have some crime. And then if those structures catch on fire, then that fire is sometimes not contained in one structure, but it spreads. And so police and fire and codes are related to each other. It's better service for our customers. Cleaner and safer neighborhoods give us an edge when it comes to people choosing to live here and businesses choosing to open here and businesses choosing to stay here. It's my pleasure to introduce Charlie Burke.
So last year I was told not to stand behind the podium, but I kind of have to right now, I think, so I'll stay behind the podium. But the Public Safety Department, or Department of Public Safety, our first, how do you go backwards? There we go. Our first full year was last year. We've accomplished quite a few things and instituted a lot of programs. And you know, we have the mission of it up there, but let's get right down to what it basically is. We're there, police, fire, code is all about quality of life. It's all about protecting life, and it's all about protecting property. That's it in a nutshell. And we're doing it under one umbrella so that we have a smooth attack on those items. Some of the accomplishments that we've had, we've instituted comprehensive combined training in multiple facets, such as customer service. You hear that as a theme, a thread that you're hearing throughout the department, around the city, over and over in everyone's presentation. Customer service. Our citizens are our customers. When we look at our crime numbers, they're not just the numbers, they are actual people that were victims of crimes. Those are people that we want to make sure that we focus on. Don't forget that those are people. One of the biggest things is active shooter. We've instituted that training. We've still got a lot to go on that because, folks, this is something that's pretty serious around this country. And the numbers show the faster, the smoother the public safety responds, the better that we have of saving lives and keeping people alive. Narcan was something that we instituted. Not just last year, we were already doing it, but we've now started having combined training in that. Our firefighters teach our officers. Last year we had 19 saves with Narcan. 19. As a result of this public safety model, we have gotten community grants from local businesses and all to include in excess of $48,000 for equipment such as ballistic vests and helmets for our firefighters and medics that go into these active shooter hot zones, as well as new equipment for our officers that was outdated. So the neighborhood initiative, many of you have heard a lot of that. It's combined police, fire, code, hitting those three pillars that I talked about earlier. It was all about learning, teaching, educating, trying to get people to be involved in their community, get them back involved in their community, and trying to make it a safer or better place to live. And that's what this initiative basically was put together for. And the other part of it was to gather data that we didn't have. I'm going to show you some of that data in just a second. But it was also having partners. We partnered with Hartford Winter Haven to help connect the dots where it comes to resources within the neighborhoods when we when we go out in these neighborhoods. The other thing is, and I want to say this, I would be remiss if I didn't, we have a fantastic team in your public safety department. I have people that I work with that are absolutely amazing. And on top of that, the city team partners with us in these neighborhood initiatives where we have streets, we've had public utilities, we've had solid waste that are out there to solve the problem immediately. The areas that we hit zone 1, 2, and 3, we hit 5 zones, sorry. Wherever high school area, Oak Lawn neighborhood, downtown Oaks, Florence Villa, Avenue S, Northeast, and First to Unity Way, Lawrenceville Avenue J to Avenue O Northeast, First to 6th Street. In those zones, we have 5 plan for the year 2020, and that's what I want to concentrate now on those zones real fast. The results in those zones were we were looking for compliance because we were looking at code issues, as the city manager talked about. You overlap those heat maps, those code issues, police issues, fire issues. So we went into the neighborhoods and tried to educate. In each one of these zones, and I'm going to break those down here. We'll take zone 1. We had a 50% compliance rate. In other words, we went back 2 weeks after we went through those neighborhoods. We had a 50% self-compliance rate in people getting their neighborhoods cleaned up on those code issues. The calls for service, this is something that's very important to us. The calls for service prior to, the 6 months prior to were 67. The 6 months after was a reduction of 40% to 52. Now you say, well, that's not very many. That's 15 calls for service. In a department, not counting code, that has over 100,000 calls for service in combined for police and fire, that's going to be significant. I'll take that number. I will take that number. And it's a start. In zone 2, which one was that? In zone 2, a 30% self-compliance. Again, 22% reduction. Zone 3, 30% or 43% compliance, 13% reduction. And then zone 4, you can see 34% compliance, 43% reduction. Zone 5, 24%. What does that mean? What does all of that mean? That means that percentage of people with those self-compliance, some of those numbers may look low to you. That tells me that there are people in those neighborhoods that still care about their communities and that want to make a difference in their community. And we have to partner with them to make that, because if we make our communities better, that's going to make our overall city and the whole mission of the city better. One of the things that we're instituting on the code side is the traffic software. And this is going to be a portal that's going to really help our citizens. If you want to file a code violation complaint, you're going to be able to go on there, and we're in the process of implementing this right now. I can't tell you the start date, but you're going to be able to go on the site. You'll be able to file a complaint against someone, or a code violation, and we're going to immediately be able to have pads where the code officers can go out there, they can get that complaint, it doesn't go through all the normal process, and they can get it quicker, they can react faster to those complaints, those violations. The other part of it is oftentimes it eats up a lot of our time when people call and say, where are you at? I haven't seen the activity on this. Where are we at with this? You'll be able to go into this portal, actually look at it and see where we're at in the process for that code violation for that particular location. That's probably one of the biggest things. You'll also be able to search complaints. Is there a particular citizen that you've been having over and over and over again that are repeat violators, or has anybody else reported that person, that violation? So this is something that we think that we're going to really become more efficient with by taking this particular software, putting it out there, and getting our citizens more hands-on with this process. Finally, The Public Safety Department is constantly looking for ways to enhance. That's our mission. We want to enhance our services to our community, to our partners, to our customers. We want to be able to provide the best service. We want to be able to provide the safety. We want to make sure that we prevent. We don't want to just react. We want to prevent. We want to be problem preventers rather than problem solvers. Some of the ideas that you'll see, and we have a lot of them that are floating around right now that we're trying to put, and as the year goes along, hopefully you're going to see some of those. But some of the ones, just to give you a taste of it, that I'm really wanting, I want to see police officers that are trained to become EMT as well, so that they're dual trained. Right now I have 3 that are dual trained EMT police officer, or firefighter EMT police officer, or firefighter EMT paramedics. I got 3 more that are about to start the academy that will have that triple certification. The idea is how do we serve our community? How can we provide better services? If you are a loved one that's calling 911 because you're a victim of a crime, or you have a loved one that's having a medical emergency, the quicker that somebody gets there, the quicker that you don't really care who can provide, I would imagine. But you're going to want somebody that can help them, because minutes matter in emergency responses. And these are some of the ways that we're looking at doing so that we can pair up a police officer or one of those triple certified people with a medic so that they can have quick responses. And if it's one of those triple certified, we have 2 police officers on scene at the same time at a major scene or an incident that needs a backup officer. So hopefully, I was going to go through these very quickly because we're running out of time, but hopefully that gave you a very good picture of what your public safety department is all about, what we're presenting, where we're trying to go in the future. You will hopefully see that we're thinking outside the box and not thinking in the traditional silos of police and fire, and that we're focusing on how we can better serve our public, why we exist, what do we do for our public. Thank you very much.
The next leader that's giving our community an edge is Michael Herr. He's our public works director. When we were looking to fill the position of public works director that was vacated by Troy Tench, who joined the city of Temple Terrace, we were looking at a number of leaders. We had several very, very experienced public works directors that had 10 years plus that we could have hired, and in fact we interviewed. But we kept coming back to an internal applicant. I don't want to say applicant. We kept coming back to an internal star. And I'm reminded of a biblical version that's either in Mark or Matthew, that talks about, all you have to do is put the lamp on top of the hill and it will shine. And when I think of that verse, I think of MJ. MJ is a star. He's a keeper. He's innovative. He's thoughtful. He connects the dots, and he passes his best attributes on to other people on the team. And he's really good at selecting people and building talent. My pleasure to introduce to you your Public Works Director, Michael Herr.
Home stretch here. It's got 45 slides. It's going to be in all seriousness, though, we opened this talk with Eric talking about the way we're growing as a community and changing. So I want to give you some insights into how we're looking at that, how we're using information to drive the way that we change, and how we keep pace with that growth. All right, so everybody's having trouble with the clicker. All right, so the first thing I want to talk about is our seamless solid waste services. So we're transitioning from automated services, semi-automated to fully automated. And what that means basically is that the trucks we use today take 2 people to operate. The trucks we're using in the future take 1 person to operate. So we're able to grow our operation and keep pace with growth while keeping costs down. This also enables us to provide recycling services in-house, which is something we haven't done before, which allows us to be adaptive in the global market. As you guys have probably heard, there's a lot of changes happening globally with recycling, and by having the equipment in-house, we're able to be resilient in the way that we adapt to those changes. We're also working on incorporating technology into these vehicles. We talk about a lot of our smart city initiatives. That'll help us understand where vehicles are, so everyone's job is you have to pick the garbage up every day if you become a leader. So, you know, we can say, hey, the truck was there this morning, we might miss you, we'll come back and get it and provide that exceptional customer service. So, downtown solid waste, right? One thing that always tracks with a growing economy is growing waste production, right? So, just as an example, I was thinking about this morning, how many people in here are going to throw something out before they leave today? Right? Everybody in here. So, on a Friday morning 2 years ago, there would have been nothing generated from this facility, and today we're going to have, you know, tons of garbage. So, how do we deal with that? How do we change the way that we manage garbage in the downtown area, and how do we maintain the character of downtown as we do it? So we're looking at a bunch of different initiatives. Every quadrant's a little bit different. So we're looking at alternative style dumpsters that can compact, not entirely different from the big bellies that Hiep was talking about. We're looking at alright, so we can keep those compactors out of sight. That keeps the alleyways that we have in downtown inviting walkable spaces, which I think is important to, again, the character and the feel of the downtown. And working with businesses on waste reduction strategies, or even shifting collection schedules to better meet customer needs. So we're taking a look at a whole bunch of different options for how to improve the way we do that in downtown. Street sweeping is another one. This is a best practice that most people don't understand is a stormwater management best practice. So this actually, we collect about 1,000 cubic yards of debris every year, which is the equivalent of about 100 dump trucks. So that is what we keep out of our city lakes every year, is about 100 dump trucks full of debris. And we're providing that in-house starting this month, which enables us to be more adaptable. And so we use a bunch of data to help us understand where to sweep and where we can have the most impact to achieve our outcomes, which is protected lakes. So, you know, we look at data on major roadways, impaired waters, our urban forests, and how all those things connect and use that to plan our routes. And being smarter helps us to keep that program, like I said, focused on the right outcomes, but also do it more efficiently than we've done it in the past, which enables us to grow the operation while kind of keeping our costs low. Like going on with the restoration project, I got to mention our partners here. The Southwest Florida Water Management District is a funding partner. The Florida Department of Environmental Protection is a funding partner, and Polk County is a funding partner. And if that's not intergovernmental corporation, taking the guys that put all the agreements together, I don't know what it is, and I think it's a pretty awesome example of that. This is also, it might not be iconic, but it is a monumental project for the city because it is one of the last big untreated outfalls in the chain of lakes. So through time, we have taken a lot of strides to clean up major stormwater fluid going into lakes. And this is one of the last big places where you have a pretty significant, close to 400-acre watershed that discharges through one canal directly into the lakes. And we're going to clean all that up and change it. We also literally laid the foundation in this design for future recreation enhancements. So T. Michael talked about recreation grants that are available, and we'll be pursuing some recreation grants for this site in the coming years. This is an aerial of the site, what the project will look like. Most of these lines are berms and water will move through there. Just want to give you guys some insights into that. And the last thing I want to talk about is our urban forest. So this is a kind of a big thing that we haven't had a good handle on in the past. And we applied for a grant from the Florida Forest Service, and we received that grant to perform an updated urban forest inventory. So it's actually started in January. We inventoried all the trees in the downtown CRA and the Florence Villa CRA. We're actually meeting Monday to determine kind of where we move next based on the funding we have available. This really lays the baseline for it. Helps us, feeds into our asset management program so we can manage day-to-day work of pruning and maintaining trees as assets. But it also helps us to set a baseline to say, here's where we are today. Is this a good place? Where we want to be in the future? How do we get there? And start to develop that strategy. We've also received some advance notice that I believe we're going to get a continuation of that funding from the Florida Forest Service because of the success of the way that we've handled the previous grants from them. And that's it. Back to my career. Thank you.
Okay, our next slide is talking about economic opportunity and workforce investment. Clearly, in order to maintain an edge, you have to have an economic development leader that's willing to take a risk and willing to come into the city manager's office and talk about how we can joint venture together and take that risk and be successful. And so it was probably, well, I'd say October or so, that Bruce came in, visited with me, and we own 203 acres just south of the wastewater treatment plant 3 in southeast of Winter Haven, out by State Road 60, basically right next door to the CSX Center Logistics Center, and the 900 acres that's owned by Jim Capital. And so we talked about the prospects of developing that property and selling it. And so we decided to create a smart city business park. And we were instrumental, or Bruce was instrumental, in attracting Florida Caribbean Distillers, a company that's here in Polk County in 3 locations. They wanted to expand and they wanted to create an advanced manufacturing plant. And so the reason that we provided that competitive edge is because our team got a yes in 60 days. We were able to come to grips with price. We were able to come to grips with the terms of the purchase agreement. We were able to identify permitting issues. We were able to get them through SWIFT. We contacted the Air Quality Division and DEP because they needed an air quality permit. And we brought the purchase agreement to the City Commission in December, and they approved the sale of the property, and we netted about $3.2 million. So we got the yes in 60 days. That's an excellent team, ladies and gentlemen. That is a team that was committed to exceptional customer service and economic development. Thus, we're going to have the 160 new jobs. We'll have about an average annual wage of about $47,000. At least in the first phase, they're going to manufacture 1.4 billion cans. Can you believe that? And then by the time phase 2 comes into play, they'll be up to about 4 billion cans. They're in the spirits business, but they also have contracts with the beverage industry in general. This is going to be good jobs for our community. This is a clean industry. The good news is we have 35 acres just to the north that is very close to show already. And so we are in the business of creating jobs and creating new capital for our community to maintain a competitive edge in the job market. Next, I want to introduce Michelle Stainer, our Executive Services Director. The last slide. We wouldn't be able to maintain a competitive edge like we do if we didn't believe in investing in the men and women in city government and giving them an opportunity to excel and contribute their minds and hearts to the success of our city so we can figure out better ways to serve you. Michelle Stainer.
Good morning, everyone. It is with great pleasure that I share with you some of the partnerships that we have developed to enhance our workforce as well as the community. One of those partnerships is with Baycare. Baycare, through our association with them this past year, we were able to place piggy stations at Winter Recreation and Cultural Center, Senior Adult Center, Winter Police Department, the library, and at the City Hall Annex. We just received a report. The stations were placed at the end of November. Through the end of December, we had 930 sessions where individuals actually went to those stations, were able to measure their blood pressure, weight, and other biometrics. Very excited to share our partnership with Polk State College. Over a period of months, we've been working very diligently to develop a curriculum to enhance our leadership development potential within public administration. Our inaugural program kicked off January 28th. Feedback thus far is extremely favorable. Everyone's very excited. They will go for 20 weeks, and our first class is expected to graduate in June. And we're already making plans for our second class. 10% of our workforce, an internal initiative that's been underway for quite some time, is KRA teams. 10% of our workforce is working slowly and steady, to try to enhance and improve the effectiveness of our processes and programs that we offer internally, and as a consequence, enhance our ability to serve the public. Next week, actually, actually, we're going to unite all of our KRA teams. They're working on items such as onboarding, collaboration, continuous improvement initiatives, and basic process and fundamental services that we provide. We are going to meet next week and engage in a 2020 visioning session with all the groups so that we can continue that initiative and hopefully develop some things that are going to make us more effective in serving our internal and external customers. This past year, we have made a commitment to improve upon our ability to diversify our organization, diversify within our community, to bring an element of collaboration, fairness, flexibility, and connectivity for our common goals. With our association with Dr. Tom Fredo, former mayor of the city of Winter Haven, he has introduced this concept and it has been embraced, and we are moving forward. We have completed we have initiated an effort to recruit Director of Diversity and Inclusivity. We've received 154 applications for that position, and so at the present we are going through those, and we hope to make a selection of candidates to begin our interview process and get someone on board within the next few months. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think this story today tells you why we are maintaining an edge for exceptional customer service throughout the next year. I have two people that I want to recognize today. Is Ashley out here? Ashley is currently serving as our interim airport manager, and she stepped up to the plate when about a year ago this time we did the State of the City address, and Alex Bacca, our current airport manager, was called back to service. We're pleased to say that he has fulfilled his term. He is finished with his service, and he is back with us today. He'll be assuming his responsibilities around February 24th. But I believe that he is in the audience today. And we wanted to thank Ashley. We want to thank Ashley for stepping up to the plate during this period of time to provide leadership at the airport to keep things going. She did a stellar job, and that's another reason why we have a competitive edge, because our bench is getting a little deeper. But we wanted to say, Alex, welcome home. This is your home, and we look forward to you coming back starting on February 24th. And you have remained in our thoughts throughout the whole time that you were gone. And welcome back.
Thank you everyone for coming today. I know we ran a little bit long on time, but I really appreciate you hanging in. Winter Haven does have a big story to tell, and you'll see that today. So now you are all anointed ambassadors for the city of Winter Haven. Go out and share the good news. Enjoy your Friday. Head on downtown tomorrow to the Winter Haven Farmers Market, where we'll be having a ribbon cutting in the BB&T parking lot right across from Grove Roots to celebrate all the things that are changing and happening in our community. So again, happy Friday and have a great day.